What's going on, everybody? My name is Paul Oski, and welcome back to another episode of the Everything Horror Podcast. With us today is none other than the returning guest for, I believe it's the third time now. We got the Canadian friend Douglas Ewen, and with him is, here we go. Natalia, yes. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks.
Hey, yeah, well, it's always good to be back again. It's always good to be. I'm always doing something, so I guess there's a reason why I'm always back. So,
well, you're fun to talk to, and I like to maybe confuse the listeners of when we start talking about the difference between our weather and your weather, because we're Fahrenheit and you're Celsius. So, like, you were saying your weather is like 0 degrees Celsius. I'm like thinking in my head, isn't that like 24 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that? Somewhere close to that, but
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, that's like as close as damn as swearing. It's around there. Like the other night, it was 3 degrees Celsius, and then it dropped to 0 for one night. Now we're back up. Which you can tell by my coughing, which is just a cold. But yes, no, the weather here has been like playing tricks on everyone, man. Like, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be 21 degrees Celsius, which is pretty warm.
Wow. All right. Well, it's been bouncing back and forth between cold and hot here, and then more chilly than a couple mornings. There was one morning where I actually saw my own breath. But anyway, enough of the freaking weather here, because pretty soon winter's going to be here, and I'm not even looking forward to that. So anyway, yes. Let's start with you, Douglas, for a minute, before we go into Natalia here, because I know she's new to the program, and I would like to get to know her a little bit too, and how she probably loved working with you too. But Douglas, you have a new project to throw at our face this time. So what is it?
Okay, so first is like a little story behind this. So I was supposed to be shooting The Devil Started Rushing Me this summer. It was going to be probably one of the biggest films I worked on. Personally, the biggest film I directed. And then that all went to crap as soon as the world ended. So I ran into this small production company in northwestern Ontario, northern Ontario, I guess, called 1-8 Sisterhood Productions. So them and I got to talking, and we decided I had a script. I had time to make a film. We invested our money, and everyone went in on it, and we decided to make this film called Pardon My Fancy, which is more like a sci-fi psychological horror thriller. It's more of like, it's hard to explain. I wrote this film with different characters way before the quarantine, a long time ago, about a man that lives in a house, and this young lady keeps coming back every time. Like, it's going to sound strange, he kills her, but at first it's an accident, then eventually gets to know whatever and kills her, and it turns in like that they're running, like other species were running this test to see if that humans are worth like bringing back or they're too violent. So then the quarantine hit, and I was like, listen, I have this script I can change around. It has like 2 characters in it, an AI in it, a couple other people, very small. Production's just opening back up in northern Ontario, so like I think we should go ahead and do this. And I joined another company. They're fantastic, Rebecca Heron and Trisha. We got together and went through everything, and came out with our little indie gem, which is absolutely it's the first time I've actually incorporated science fiction than anything else I've ever done.
Yeah, I was noticing that in the little press kit that you gave me, that it's sci-fi and not horror or psychological. So I was kind of impressed to see that, to be honest. So, and from what I could see with the screenshots, once again, man, I see some very fantastic camera work, and this looks like another film that I just can't wait to see come from you.
Well, with the new stipulations, Canada, like when you're on a set during the pandemic, you have to rotate like crew. So I was like, well, I'll shoot it and direct it. And first of all, everyone's always like, you know what you're doing? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know what I'm doing. With The Woods That Made Me, we were stuck in like post-hell because of the pandemic. And we're finally just getting back to actually as soon as I'm done this, I'm actually going to go see a cut of it to make sure that everything's good, so we can finally get that out and start like doing the perks like from the last campaign and get the movie out and everything like that. So I shot the movie, directed the movie, wrote the movie, and yeah, with the small crew and stuff, it worked out really well. And like we had a Stephanie Meoni was our production designer, and I mean like even I was absolutely blown away with like the set. Like it was literally an empty room that we got above Bunkie that was completely empty. A couple, like say 1,000, 1,500 square feet, but it already was framed, but it was empty. And then it looked like by the time it was done, it was like being on the Star Trek Enterprise. It was insane. Like the doors would slide open. It was absolutely incredible. So it was great that they were able to help me bring my film to life. And I mean, with the science fiction though, I'm still like a huge Cronenberg fan and stuff. So I mean, science fiction also equals a lot of creepy stuff that's in the film. But it's fantastic. It's actually mind blowing what we were able to do with that set.
What is the synopsis that you can tell us for Pardon My Fancy?
Well, it's funny, believe it or not. So we're working on that. So like when I make a movie, even like The Woods That Made Me, like it's like this is very much like a horror science fiction thriller, but it's very much a character study. So basically, if I had to give a synopsis, I would say, without giving, I don't want to reveal too much because we have some good special guests playing some AI characters and some really good stuff. But there is one character named Mila who is suffering from a very like violent past. She is more of like, if there was an id and ego, she's more like the ego of the bunch. Like everything's impulse, sexual anger, stuff like that. And then we have the other one, Eve, who's the last human being on Earth, and she is convinced that she's the one that's going to bring back like the human race. And the whole time, there's this AI that's called the Warden that looks over them to find out if humans are actually worth bringing back or not. So you have these two extreme characters. One has OCD, one's extremely violent, living in this one environment, but also on subconscious and conscious levels. So I mean, like when I added sci-fi, it was just another way to, you know, give me that extra jump that I wanted to make in horror films. But like it's a trip. That's definitely for sure. It's definitely a trip. Like it's something you watch and you're like, I got to see that again before I completely make up my mind on where that was going. And I get to edit it this time because the pandemic made that wonderful for me.
Oh boy, I can only imagine your editing and I'm not trying to say like that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to say like, you know, from our previous conversation and stuff, I can only imagine how many times you probably hated a specific cut that you did or something, so you threw that cut out and redid it or something. So I can only imagine what you had to go through within yourself of, you know, editing.
Oh yeah, like it's yeah. No, believe me, there's times where I'm just like ready to dump it right down the drain, and I'm just like, oh no, wait, I found this shot. Never mind, I'm safe. And it's like that one like half second saved my entire movie. But before that, I was willing to like burn my computer on fire. So I mean, like yeah, no. I have a good setup. Even when Natalia was looking at the film today, we were going over some stuff. She plays me on the film. She was like listening to the same line over and over. I'm like, see, this is why I always have headphones on, because I'm the kind of person that will go down to like the millisecond over and over until it hits exactly where I need it. So like, yeah, no, it's a process for someone like me that probably should never put themselves through this. It's like you know, having a disability like being blind and then deciding that you're going to like run a race where if you run into something you die, right? Like it's just like that's me. Like I set myself up to be pissed off for the next 3 months of my life, that's for sure.
Why did that not surprise me? So, but well, let's get Natalia here on. So you're new to us, and like every time Doug throws some project in my face, it's somebody I'm also new with work. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what was it like working with Doug on Pardon my fancy.
Well, when I'm not acting, I'm a physician working at the hospital, and the rest of the time I'm new to the acting and movies and love to learn more about it. Working with Doug, I love working with him because he has artistic mind, and the way he does his shots and his creation, it's mind blowing. He always like points you in a direction, and it's easy to work with. And he'll help you to get where he needs to and guide you. So it's kind of easy to work with him, and because I love perfection and he loves perfection, so it's very interesting.
I have a gun pointed to her head right now, just so you know.
Wow. Well, first of all, I'm kind of like, kind of tilting my head because I heard easy to work with. So,
you remember speaking to Jillian?
yes, that's exactly why I'm tilting my head. Like, what?
No, so Natalia is like, okay, so with Natalia, when I was in film school, I had a teacher who was like, listen, I'm going to give you a name of someone she's a model from Russia. She's in Canada now for the last couple of years. She's a physician. She acts. She's done a bunch of stuff, but like, I don't give her name out to the film students, but like, you're a mature student, so I'm going to give you her name. So I met her once. We did a short film together. And then I was like, if something else comes up, I'll bring you on. So I mean Natalia, and on this new film, believe me, I think the quarantine and the pandemic has done nothing but made me read and be completely more understanding of other people's positions on set. Like I said, I still know enough about everyone's job that I could be like a giant pain in the ass, just like Christopher Nolan. So that's the best idea you could ever have. But I now know how to say things like "it's okay," or not yell after I say cut. So everything's gone better now that I've done some reading. But no, in reality now, it's like I still have the mentality that like when you're on set, like you're there to work, like you are in any job. Like you don't, it's not joke around time and have fun. But I do understand the importance of like building a safe and trust and like family environment now. Like I do. Like before, it's not like some Stanley Kubrick artistic, like, hey, I'm so special kind of thing. But like at first, I really was like, you have to beat these people down until they give you what you want. Like I really did believe that because like on the 10th take, I was like, there you go, now it's starting to come up. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend more time getting to know them and speaking about them and explaining them and going through everything with them. And with Natalia being Russian, the character too, the way that we wrote it, like it needed that little bit of like different approach to it because like it was a very odd character to have. So I like the fact that, and I was like, I want you to use the accent. Like she had a speech coach, but I was like, I want you to do the accent, and it's just her normal accent. But it works out well. And with me and her, like it was more patient, trying to learn and teach, and I don't know, it just worked out really well. Actually, I really enjoyed this film. Definitely taught me a lot that I didn't know before on my last film. So I mean, every film I make, I'm growing. So I'm actually very proud of that.
That's awesome. So I guess Natalia was there anything about Pardon My Fancy that you felt was challenging for yourself, or anything that Doug may have brought new to the table that you haven't really acted in that specific type of environment before? Like, was there anything fresh that you're like, well, I am used to acting, but not like this?
Yeah, definitely the role at times, the violence of it, and you have to be in a set mind. So in between the takes, and when you block and the way you learn your character with him explaining, definitely help quite a bit. Between the takes, if you have to stay in the character, you just walk away. So being on a bigger set and seeing all the roles and be part of that really helped. And again, as he pointed out, that with each movie he grows, and I've seen the way he approach everyone.
Well, you also like she had the challenge too. Like this is why the synopsis of the film is so odd. Like in the film, she plays the same character, but she plays the same character differently. So the first bit, she's a different kind of Mila, and the second bit, she's even more kind of Mila. So knowing Natalia in real life, like everyone would say, she's the nicest person to ever meet, which is absolutely true. But on set, I was like, okay, but you're not the nicest person anyone's ever met, and now you're going to kill this person. And she kills about 4 people in the film, and I mean, like, I'm like, now you have to kill, like, and I'm like speaking to her about it and trying to get her to understand, and yeah, no, it was easy working with. That's what I meant. Like, you actually can get something incredibly evil out of someone who doesn't have them inside them if you just are able to express and explain yourself properly. It was actually like, yeah, Natalia's a trooper. Natalia will literally do anything either. That was an awesome thing about her too. Like, she's like, yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll kill this person. Like, yeah, okay. Like, we'd have to switch things up really quick. Like, listen, we lost this part of the location. We're gonna move it in here. We need you to do this. She'd be like, yeah, no problem. So she was like super awesome to work with too. But I think
so. In other words, like there wasn't, because of her well done acting. From what it sounds like, there wasn't that many takes to really do like normally, right?
No, so now, like, well, one, it was during the pandemic, and you only have so many hours with crew, so many hours with people, and so many hours you want to have that damn mask on your face. So this was like me and Ron Howard. Like, my ideal, this is going to sound insane, my ideal was a 2-to-1 ratio. If I can get 2 takes, I'll take 1. It went up to probably about 4-to-1, and I was like, for every 2 hours I record, if I get like 30 minutes of film, I'm happy. So I mean, like, yeah, I definitely brought down like everything I did, but I mean, if it was complete normal filming with an actual schedule that was large, we had a very small shooting schedule. I think it was like 3 weeks, or it wasn't even 3 weeks. With that, yeah, no, I had to adjust because of that. But if I didn't have to, yeah, no, there'd be more takes. But with Natalia too, and that's the thing too. There's a little bit of deadpan to her character near the end, and like just the violence itself was being sold. Like when I was showing her a clip today, she literally was like, "I can't even believe that's me," and I was like, "I know it's nuts." Like, and that was the point when we were getting like, I don't know, 15, 16 days in, and we were actually doing 2 takes per, like, 1 safety, like 1 hold, 1 safety. Like it was getting like that. That was my plan from the start. Was I spoke to both of them. I said, "Listen, like, you really have to trust me, and I have to trust you. So, like, I need to explain to you your characters more than I need to explain to you how you're going to move. Because, like, if I tell you to grab that cup, I expect you to grab it like Mila. I don't expect you just to grab the cup. Like, that's the kind of stuff that's going to be said to you on set if things change. And I have a small shooting schedule, so you're actually going to have to, like, really do more than just your job." And everyone on set was like, "Okay." So, like, yeah, no, she was fantastic to work with. And actually, little Miss Jillian was signed on to do this, and unfortunately, there's problems with agents and stuff like that. So we had the courtesy of working with Sarah Bowden, who played Eve, and she was absolutely fantastic too.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. That's good. So I guess Natalia, from everything so far, is there any sort of take that you've done that you maybe in the future want to reshoot, or do you feel confident enough that everything you've done is good enough for Doug? I'm gonna say.
Yeah, the thing is, because this his approach before the movie, we had time, and the way he explained the character, as he was saying, because of the COVID and timing between the sets, between the takes, the way he explained things, and during the blocking, the practice, and with expectation that things may change at any time, and you have to be ready. With that mentality, he actually prepared himself and us that there's no need to be many takes, and we're ready for it, and time in between preparation. I think it really helped tremendously with the whole scenes and filming. So I think he did a great job in directing us.
But there will be pickups. There will be pickups. I'm guaranteeing I'm going to see one thing in post where I'm like, yeah, I'm having that pickup. Actually, I'm at the point where I always go through my footage, but I'm at the point now where I'm very, very impressed. Actually, to tell you the truth, But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, no, there's definitely like a lot of ADRs going into this. Like some of the locations we shot at, man, when it would rain, like it would just piss. Like it would be nothing. Like it'd just be like a little bit of a drizzle. It would sound like machine gun fire in the ceiling. So there are some days that were challenging as all hell, believe me. But no, there'll be a lot more ADR than there will be pickups. So that's for sure. Like if there is a pickup, it's because like I caught something absolutely horrible. But so far, like no, we just went through a lot of the footage today, like just me showing her, just to make sure she knew she was in safe hands as well, right? And no, I'm very happy with what actually was able to accomplish. And like I said, the Rebecca and Trish, 1-800, no, 180 Sisterhood. 180. Yeah, it's like a gang. I always make fun of them. It sounds like a gang. 180 Sisterhood. But no, they were great too. So like she graduated. One of them graduated from the University of Vancouver, and Rebecca, and she was really good with helping out with sound and like teaching me a lot of stuff I didn't know either. Right. So like she was awesome, and Trish was awesome. Trish actually is now in Hamilton shooting a web series. She's an actor turned producer. And no, it was nice to have a bunch of different minds and creative minds on set, because like one of us would have an idea, then two of us would just make it perfect. So it was great actually. It was a good vibe.
Nice. So I know there was a lot of very interesting, funny stories last time we talked, Doug. So Natalia, did Doug I don't know, did he fill you in on some of the funniness that happened last project of his, or did anything like weird happen this time around? Like did, I don't know, like you remember Doug the splatter, the blood splatter? Was there anything like funny going on this time, or no?
Oh no, on the ones that made me, Jillian was waiting to do a special effects shot that went off like 3 seconds earlier and just covered her in blood. Oh. Do you remember anything happening instead?
Actually, as far as I remember, during the shooting time.
No, there was this one time. Okay, yeah. No, there was a dummy fall that we did, and I shield myself in a protective little quarantine box, and it did not work out so well, and I ended up smashing the rental company's 35mm lens hood and like concussing my eyeball inside the viewfinder. That did not work out the best shot. It didn't hurt that bad. Other than that, no, it went pretty damn smooth. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, the shot that the legs stay behind the dummy, and then we.
Oh yeah, the one time Natalia had to murder this like it was pieces of bodies, right? Like and the legs stayed behind while the rest of the body went off, and then she just started laughing. I don't blame. We had fun a few times. Yeah. Like I said, it's mostly the special effects shots, but no, other than that, like, this is the first time. Oh, and the sliding doors. I'll tell you right now, just like if you watch Star Trek bloopers, man. The suit in our movie that we had to make and the sliding doors are such a pain in the ass, man. You gotta close the door behind them, and it do a little bit of like a buffering almost, like catch on stuff, and we have to reshoot it, or the suit, like all of a sudden one wire come loose and you have to redo it, or like tape it on the spot, like stuff like that kept happening. But like no, this one was pretty smooth compared to the woods I made. That's for sure.
Well, that's good. At least, everything wanted to cooperate this time around. Nothing was a surprise burst, as I may say.
No, it was good. It was actually, it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. Without wanting to go more into the film itself, I guess, Natalia, is there anything that you would like to say about either the film or working with Doug that you feel is shareable, or do you feel comfortable enough of what we've talked about so far? I want to give you the spotlight.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, I'll take it.
I'll take it. A glimpse of footage I got, Doug showed me. He usually does not reveal much, but I got a glimpse of that. And looking at the raw footage, his shots actually are mind-blowing. Like, he's with the camera, it's like, I'm speechless. And it's without even editing or color correction or anything whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that we'll hear his name down the road, and he's going to be one of the big directors. Not bragging or anything, not trying to, like boil him down, but really, he has a great eye on the film and writing. Incredible. It's a pleasure to work with, and
I still have a gun pointed to her head, just so you know.
yeah.
This whole podcast, I've been threatening her to say the nice things about me.
Well, I hope not.
I'm actually.
Maybe I should feel for your safety. I hope.
You don't mess with Russians, right? You never know, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
You might be Russian, but you die for Mother Russia. Or wait, no, I don't think that's how the saying goes. But yeah, Mother Russia is
Mother
good.
Russia, yeah, Mother Russia, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we had a good time. I'm actually very happy that she said that, because I tried, like I said, I did want to evolve, and like I want to keep evolving in film. I don't want to stay at the same spot, and it's not easy. Like, and the thing is, like, if I had to give any piece of advice, it's learn how to evolve, man. If you don't learn how to, like, if you don't and you want to stay in your ways, and it's the definition of insanity, man. You keep doing the same thing and you're gonna keep getting the same product. Like, you have to understand in this industry, you have to adapt, and shit changes so fast in this industry. So I mean, like, you really have to stay on top of things, and I really thank you for saying that about me. That was very nice.
Well, hopefully he's not just saying that either, with Natalia now pointing the gun at you.
She has taken the time to help her help.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now the road got reversed, but anyway.
And another thing, like, the more you expose to the movies, the more you learn behind the scene. You actually respect each and every member who works on the set. Because I'm new to this industry, as Doug mentioned, like, most of my time I spent in school doing medicine and working as a physician, and did start modeling, and the movies, it's completely different entity itself, and lots of learning all the time, lots of evolving with things, and ready to be change things on the spot and just roll with it. The weather, the things unexpected that can happen, like look at this pandemic, and if you really want to succeed, you have to work hard and ready to evolve. It's for sure, and work as a team, and not freak out and just go with it. New changes, it really changes.
And well, before we end too, before we go into the last part here, Paul, I have to shout out to Winning Sisterhood for also this one great thing. We got Aurora's to cater for us. It's an Italian restaurant here. Man, if you're ever in Sault Ste. Marie or Sudbury or anywhere like that in Northern Ontario, come to Sault Ste. Marie and try the shrimp bang bang at Aurora's. That's right, I'm plugging Aurora's. They didn't even ask me to, but I would hide the shrimp bang bang when the catering would come in and eat it for breakfast the next day. I would hide it from the rest of the crew. I did that one bad thing on set. I won't lie about that. I hid food. I'm ashamed of it, but I did it.
It is what it is. We all make bad mistakes somewhere. But no, okay, so yeah, so to wrap things up, you're doing an Indiegogo for Pardon My Fancy. So what's the Indiegogo for, Doug?
Okay, so doing Indiegogo during the pandemic is almost like an oxymoron, or extremely hard choice to make. So basically, we're in post. I like I said, I'm going to edit it, but there is going to be greater people than I who need to do the sound mixing, the color correction. There are not a lot, by no means. I would say a dozen CGI shots. I have to do an entire ADR session or voiceover session with Bill Oberst Jr. From like Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies. Like he's in the movie. Like there's a lot of stuff to be done in production. I mean, I have a very decent setup, but by no means, like they're greater people than I who have to eventually come on board. We have a young composer out of Costa Rica who actually nailed what I wanted. So there's still there's a long ways to go, and whatever funds we raise, we always match. Like we don't take the money and oh thank God this is what we got. Like we're going to finish it. It's nice to have more to finish it. I would like to bring it to the next level. Like I said, I never really got to work with a budget or a set like this before. Well, the budget, not really, but the set and just the stuff I had available, I really want to do it justice. And they're greater people than I, like I mentioned 100 times now, but they're going to have to take over at one point. So color correction, post, score, making sure it's tightened up, making sure the sound mixing is perfect. I want to do 5.1, get it done perfectly, the whole nine. So it's going to be quite a little bit of a large campaign.
All right. Well, and I'm assuming the perk kind of run through the same as I believe we talked about with the Wood That Made Me. I think kind of like.
Well, on this one, I'm making it a little bit more. I'm still going through a few of them with some people on a marketing team. It's like I know I want to keep them digital because I don't want to send anyone anything during times like this, right? And when things clear up, I will. For example, I run a little horror shop too, right? Horror items, horror toys. I'm going to throw everything on 40% off for the month of October, and everything I do, I'll put towards the movie. Every last penny of it. Things like that will be shipped out, but that won't be part of the campaign that's just mentioned. But things are let's just say maybe or maybe not. There are other planets involved, and you can actually name a planet after you go through a vigorous test. Because I don't want my planet to be called Dildo V1 or anything like that. But you can name a planet, or you can there's going to be better things. There's a whole entire filmmaking kit. You can get both movies back to back because there is a little bit of surprise in this movie. You can get a filmmaking course. I have other people coming on who are doing things for me. There are a lot of perks that are actually worth it. That are actually I was what I need to make these worth it. But there's still the associate producer and thank you and stuff like that. It's nice anyone helps out or shares, retweets. But there's gonna be a lot of unique perks where you actually get to actually learn some pretty killer stuff. Unfortunately, we don't know the pandemic's over, so everything's set back till next year because we're not. I don't want to be sending anything out. I do sell a few toys here and there still during the pandemic, and I make sure it's all properly shipped. But I mean, at this point, running a campaign, I'm trying to keep everything digital.
Right. No, that's understandable. That's why I'm trying to figure out the way of perfectly wording it correctly with, trying to say it's the same, but, not really, obviously, because, physical media is definitely the questionable one nowadays without your stuff basically saying, you got to hold on to that until this shit is lifted. So, yeah. So, and that sucks too. But, keeping it digital not only saves you for spending more too, but it also helps in the long run of getting everything out there faster. So, yeah. But all right. Well, Natalie.
Hang on, right back. Yeah, speak to Natalia for a second.
Yeah. Hi.
So thank you so much for coming on. I mean, I know it's kind of a short little chat, and it was a pleasure to definitely meet you. And is there anything that you would like to say to the listeners for a final word? Or
Sure. Thank you for inviting me. And keep to your dreams. Don't give up. Don't shut down on any obstacles that you have ahead. That's the only way to make it through. That's what I've learned, and I keep learning.
that I can back that up. I agree with that. So, and Doug, for you, any final words? I guess.
Final words. Yeah, listen. I don't know. I had something good, and then my life just flashed from my eyes.
All right. Well, I guess since Doug's brain is still practicing, is I guess listener, check out Doug's newest project. Pardon my fancy. Stuff out. Oh, when does Indiegogo launch? By the way, when does it launch?
Indiegogo will be launching next Friday for 30 days, 28th.
All right. Well,
it's going to run through the month of October.
Okay, so on next Friday, you said?
Yep.
October 2nd?
No, sorry, September 28th, and it'll run all the way till right before Halloween.
All the way to Halloween. So there you go, everybody. September 28th to Halloween. Check it out. Back it if you like the idea, and if not, then pardon my fancy and get the hell out. So,
that became a thing on set very quick too. Pardon my fancy every time someone sees something shitty.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and yes, we'll have to come back again. I guess when the film is out, Doug, just like your other stuff, and we shall maybe talk a little bit more about them. How's that?
Sounds good, but I'll give you a call.
All right, man. Well, you guys have a good rest of your evening, and for everybody else listening, keep supporting the indie horror, and we will keep giving you some good ass shit, just like from Doug here. So until next time, I'm Paul Dolsky, and we want you to keep on being scary. Good night, everybody.